starts up here. It's in their words, and the words become flesh. But when they say, I can't afford it or I can't do that, they become what they say. And I meet so many people, I can't afford it. You think I made of money? My PhD dad, he says, what do you think I am, made of money? I can't afford that. And my rich dad would say, that's why he's poor. Poor people say, I can't afford it, I can't do that, I don't have time. Because this is an escape. It's an escape. You know what I mean? It's easy to say, I can't afford it. Oh, I'm too tired. Oh, I can't go to the gym. When you could go to the gym. No, I can't. Truth is, I'm just too lazy to go to the gym. A question opens the mind, a statement closes the mind. See, when you say, I can't afford it, your mind shuts down, and you become what you say. But the thing is that we become creatures of our own habits. And until we break the habit, we don't change. Poverty is passed on. It's taught in your families. And middle class is taught in families. And so the people right now who are sitting at home, who are struggling financially or worried about money or unhappy, they may be making a lot of money, but unhappy with what they're doing, it was probably taught to you. Your superego was taught, get a job, work hard, or you'll never be rich, or the rich are evil, or whatever. If you're poor, you'll always be poor. Just like most pro athletes, they make millions of dollars, and 65% are bankrupt 5 years later. It's because they come from poor families. Now, you tell them that, they get very angry at you. It's not, it's the rich fault. As you guys ripped me off, and government ripped me off. But unfortunately, it's passed down genetically. That's the frightening thing. We've got to change what we teach our kids. So I remember raising my hand when I was 9 years old, talking to my fourth grade teacher, and I said, when am I going to learn about money? She says, the love of money is the root of all evil. We don't teach money at school. I said, why not? And she couldn't answer me. And she got very flustered. She says, go ask your father. He's my boss. My father was the head of education, PhD, all that stuff. I go home and ask him, I said, why don't we learn about money in school? And he looked at me and said, because the government doesn't let us teach that subject. Government tells us what we can teach and what we can't teach. And I thought that was strange. And I said, but aren't we going to school to learn about money? He says, no, your job is to get a job. I said, but you get a job to earn money. He goes, no, you're supposed to just get a job. I went, no. Isn't the purpose of a job to earn money? He goes, you're correct. I said, so why don't I just learn about money? I can skip the job part, And he got flustered and he said, look, if you want to learn about money, why don't you ask your best friend's father about money? So I asked him. He says, because Mike's father is an entrepreneur. And I said, what are you? He says, I'm an employee. I'm a government employee. I went, oh. What's the difference? He says the difference is an entrepreneur must know about money, or then they're no longer entrepreneurs. And he says an employee doesn't have to know anything about money. Because the government will take care of them, the company will take care of them. Money on one condition. And that condition was he would never pay me. He says, the moment I pay you, you think like an employee. He says, that's the trap. Entrepreneurs work for free. And now I'm 9 years old, my head's going cracking in half. He says, you never want a paycheck. You understand that, kid? I said, okay, I got it. And he said, well, how do I make money? He says, that's what entrepreneurs figure out. It's like there's a cat, which comes first, a cat or the cat chasing its tail. And I said, so how do I learn about money? So he would just break out a Monopoly game board. So I would work for free and pick up cigarette butts and get hotels and restaurants, and I would clean and do menial tasks. And as I got older, I started getting into office work and marketing and accounting, and I was an apprentice basically, but I always worked for free. He says that the moment you accept the paycheck, your brain goes dead. As long as you're hungry, you'll think. And he was a great, great teacher. You see, most teachers in school, they're out of ethics. They teach subjects they themselves don't practice. A fake teacher is somebody who just wants a job and they'll teach anything. They teach how to shine shoes if you pay them more money. But they really don't know what they're teaching. For example, my calculus teacher, went to military school in New York, and I asked the teacher, I said, I'm in my third year of calculus now. I said, am I ever going to use this stuff? He goes, no. I said, why do you teach it? Because I get paid. I said, do you ever use it? He goes, no. And that's why, you have to, in life, one of the things I suggest to people, you got to find a real teacher versus a fake teacher. And a fake teacher is somebody who doesn't do what they teach. And a real teacher is doing what they teach every day. School systems are making our students weaker. So in school, they have these things called now trigger effects. So you can't, as a teacher, you can't say anything that might upset the student. They don't want anything that might jar their point of view. So if I went into school, I'd be thrown out because I threaten them. And to me, isn't school about opening your eyes and minds to new ideas? But that's now out of the system. So everybody's got to be PC, politically correct now. And it's killing us. It's killing the brains of our kids. They're going backwards. But in their minds, they're more enlightened. If I didn't have ideas that shook me, I wouldn't learn anything new. But now these trigger mechanisms, we're actually making our students weaker in school. My success comes from spirituality, not finance. You see, people say, well, why don't you give the poor money? So the only problem with that is it just creates more poor people. You give a man a fish, you get a lot of people who want more fish, Well, you teach them to fish. We're more antagonistic, more antisocial. Social media is antisocial. That's the danger part. So the reason I'm speaking on spirituality, we got to evolve. It means meditation, it means yoga, it means praying, it means going to church, whatever it takes. But you got to get back to calm and peace and meditation. One generalized principle is emergence through emergency. So when you look at the word emergency, the base word is emerge. The only way humans evolve is via emergency. A big one's coming. And it's going to be, as we all know, our banks have ripped us off immensely. They're just a bunch of crooks. I don't know how they can live with themselves. But, the bankers rip off trillions and they get bonused in billions. Nobody goes to jail. That's the sickness of our society. So that's when I write about financial education. It's almost like self-defense. It's almost like taking judo against our own government and our own banking systems and Wall Street. And people who are afraid of making mistakes, like they teach in school, they don't ever grow. Because spirituality is there's good and there's bad. There's right and there's wrong. There's up and there's down. Most people only want to be right. They only want to be positive. Well, you can't have that. That's not reality. Every time I failed, it was like, good. I said, okay, what have I learned? And the average person, the reason they're poor is they haven't failed. They play it so safe. They haven't made any mistakes like they taught in school. That means they don't learn anything. That's why the school system's actually fundamentally corrupt. It's anti-education. Don't make mistakes and don't ask for help. And if I didn't ask for help, I have my accountants, my attorneys, my bankers, and all that. I go into business like a rugby team. Boom, boom. We kick butt. But the average guy is standing there, I'm an A student. I'm going to do this all on myself. And a bunch of rugby players run you over, and you go, well, they're not playing fair. You're playing stupid. You should have a team. You should have accountants, attorneys, and bankers, and all that stuff. But that's not a game I want to play. I said, then don't play the game. So what I say to young people is, you find your game. The most obsolete idea is go to school, get a job, work hard, save money, get out of debt, and invest for the long term in the stock market. See, why would you save money when they're printing trillions of dollars? The gap between the 1% and the 99% is massive. You see, it's not just money. You have to step back and look at the bigger picture.
So what do you do?
In every one of us is a poor person. There's still a poor person inside me. There's also a middle class person. The middle class person wants security. They want that steady paycheck. There's a rich person. And they're all inside of us except that it's not taught. You're taught to go to school, get a job, and get a paycheck. Not taught to how to get rich. If you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, my rich dad refused to pay me. He said the paycheck was one of the most damaging things you could take in your life. He says the moment you take a paycheck, you're an employee. That's the mindset. So my rich dad never paid me. He drove my poor dad, government employee, nuts. You gotta pay people, you gotta pay people. And rich dad was not saying that the paycheck was bad. He says he didn't want to be a slave to money. So as an entrepreneur, if rich dad folded, I just started another company. I don't need a paycheck. I don't need anybody to take care of me. If my government doesn't like me, I move to another country because they need entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. So the entrepreneur is not so much the business. The entrepreneur is really the mindset and the skill sets and the different set of rules. You see, I don't operate, small business does not operate in the same rules as big business. Entrepreneur is a mindset first, a skill set, and rules. And depending upon whether you're an employee or a small business, the rules are different. The mindsets are different. The skill sets are different.
You could say one thing to somebody who's never been an entrepreneur and they're thinking about making the leap of faith into becoming an entrepreneur. What could you tell them?
Well, I'll just tell them the same thing that happened to me. My last paycheck, I still remember it clearly. It was one of the worst and the best days of my life. I was in Puerto Rico. I was working for Xerox, and my boss gave me my last. It wasn't a paycheck; it was a bonus check. I think it was about $30,000, taxable. That's the only problem with that. So I got this check, and I went, "Holy mackerel!" You know what I mean? So I was excited, but I was also disturbed. And so this other guy comes up to me. His name was John, and John says to me, he says, "You're going to be back." I said, "Why?" He says, "Because you're going to fail." I looked at him and said, "Look." Few expletive words, because that's what he did. He left Xerox, failed, and he came back. And I said, "Look, you failed and you came back, but I'm going to fail and I'm never coming back." And that's the attitude. Do you know what I mean? If you say, "Well, if I fail, I'll go back to mommy and daddy," then that's what you'll do. So if you fail, that's when I became an entrepreneur, because I had no money. I had no money for years. I didn't have a paycheck. But that's what my rich dad encouraged me to do. He says, when you don't have this paycheck, you get hungrier, smarter, and it's a test of your character. Will you become a crook? Will you become dishonest? Will you cheat and steal? Or will you become a better human being? So really, that's the benefit of becoming an entrepreneur, is you really find out who you are when you don't have anything. So you always have to look at the big picture. Too many people look at, well, what's going to happen to me? When you look at the big picture, you're also going to know that when something bad happens, something good's going to happen. Mm-hmm. But you got to prepare for whatever is coming. If you think next 20 years will be like the last 20 years, you're going to be creamed. When you and I go to the supermarket and we buy a carton of milk, we always check for the expiration date. But most people do not check for the expiration date on their brains. Instead of get out of debt, I get into debt. I just refinanced $300 million in debt. I went from 5% to 2.5% interest. I made a fortune. Every month, more money comes in because my cost of money has gone down. So while some financial experts are saying get out of debt, I'm saying learn how to use debt. So when I came back from in Vietnam in January of '73, the first thing my rich dad said to me was go to school to learn how to invest in real estate. It wasn't real estate, it was how to use debt and taxes. Debt and taxes make the rich richer. Debt and taxes make the poor and middle class poor. So all the rich guys who are doctors and lawyers or You know, those guys, they're getting creamed. They don't know why.
Doctors are getting creamed.
Oh yeah, they're making more money, but the take home is less.
Sure.
You know, my doctor just yelled at me. He was happy. He says, "Oh, guess what? I finally made $1 million." And I said, "Yeah, because this was just 3 weeks ago." And so I said, "Yeah, well, how much you pay in tax?" He says, $750,000 in taxes. So his net was about $400,000. That's not bad. But when I make $1 million, I keep $1 million. And the reason is because I don't make it by working for money. See, if you work for money, you're taxed. So that's why lesson number 1 in Rich Dad Poor Dad is the rich don't work for money. What we do instead is we create businesses as entrepreneurs. We acquire real estate. I don't invest in the stock market. Okay? So the reason is because as entrepreneurs, I have more control over my income, how much I make, and how much I pay in taxes. And because I'm an entrepreneur as well as an investor in real estate, I pay 0 tax. So every time I make, let's say, $1 million as an entrepreneur, I immediately invest in real estate and I have a 4-to-1 step up. So I put $1 million in real estate, I get $4 million from the bank. That's why I love banks. But the banks are screwing everybody else, terrible. But it's good for me.
That's why you say when you print, it's good for you, but when you print, it's bad for people that work for money.
Because when you print, savers get creamed and people who work for money get creamed. When they print, debtors get rich. You see, debt and taxes make the rich richer. Debt and taxes make the poor middle class poorer. When we have obsolete ideas, we get obsolete results. So what's happening for most people, the idea of going to school, getting a job, working hard, saving money, getting out of debt, buying your house because it's an asset, investing for the long term, is obsolete. The world has changed. The world changed in 1971 when President Nixon took us off the gold standard and money became debt.
What if we get rid of school? Then what would happen? Would it be better if we had no educational system at all?
No, I'm saying education is more important before. It's just obsolete. There's Moore's Law which states information doubles every 18 months. In other words, everything's obsolete 18 months. So, and this is just a recent phenomenon. So when you come out of school, you're already obsolete. And that's why I'm the old guy, I meet my friends who went to Harvard. I went to Harvard. I said, yeah, that was how long, 50 years ago? Today, the banks are charging you interest to save money. In other words, banks don't want your money because they printed too much of it. And that's why there's this bubbles in stocks and bubbles in real estate and all this. People are dumping the cash. Because as I said in here, savers are losers and cash is trapped.
Hello, hello. Hi, Facebook. It's another time for Money Talks. I am Dr. Melissa Ramkisoon. So glad that you could join us. How are we going, Facebook? Guys, today on Money Talks, I am super excited because I have a wonderful, energetic, smart, ambitious young man. He's going to jump on in a few minutes to share with us his knowledge, his experience, and all that good stuff. All right? So you don't want to change this page on your Facebook. You want to stay on this page of Money Talks because you're going to learn something. All right? You are definitely going to get education that's going to help you make decisions, that's going to help you become financially successful. All right, the name of the game is money, guys. I'm telling you. And without the information, without the right education, you could make mistakes. You could invest in the wrong things. You could learn the wrong skill set. So this is the place you want to be. So I just want to shout out to Facebook to all the people who are looking on, let me know in the comments, how has everybody been going? So we're just going to give Eric 2 minutes to jump on, and then we're going to start rocking and rolling with our call. Money Talks, guys. Share, share, share. Let people know that Dr. Mel is on and they could get some information that will transform them for the rest of their life, all right? So I see my guest has just entered the room.
Hey. You hear me?
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Eric.
How you doing?
I am doing fantastic. Oh, look at that smile. That's like $1 million smile.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, you're small too.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I am with the best company. You know, I've been doing some amazing work with some amazing people just like yourself. So, most recently, last week, we had Lee Allen.
Oh, nice. Nice.
I know, right? That was an amazing session. I mean, it was very emotional as well because we exchanged some really great stories. That, you know, that why we do what we do, you know, really to help people, to empower people, to basically give people the information. As long as they apply it, they could be financially successful. You know, week before that was Abel Melendez. I'm telling you, this show just features the best. Week before that was Bali Granville. We are literally bringing information. We are bringing it real for the viewers, letting them know that, I mean, to make decisions in life, to become financially successful, they need to get the right information, the right education on this journey to success.
Amen.
You know, so in the in show with us today, guys, Money Talks is happy and very delighted to bring to you, all right, none other than Mr. Eric Sawyer, who has been crushing it, who has been changing so many lives all the way from the USA. And I know that you do. I know that you're the original Bomb Squad guy. All right.
Oh, yeah.
I followed you from inception, from the day I think you started that. I was with you, and that has really been a blessing to me. Sometimes, you know, in the earlys, I wasn't sure 100% of what I was doing, but guys, I'm telling you, with your instruction, with your mentorship, that's all I could do was win.
Wow.
WIN. And I am grateful for that, Eric. My family is grateful to you. So, this show basically, Eric, is about education, about people out there who probably they want to invest, they don't know much about things like digital space. We are moving from cash to cashless. We're moving from fiat to digital. All right. So today, however, normally I would give them some real heavy stuff. But today, I want to go a little twist different. I want to talk about money, obviously. I want to talk about mindset. I want to talk about motivation. So before we dive into the topics, I want you, Eric, to share with us exactly your background. Give us a little bit. You could be real on this show. Real is better for us. The recording is going to be available on YouTube and Facebook. So you could just be real, take your time and talk from your heart, but share with us your background of what was and where you are now.
Okay, well, my name is Eric Sawyer. As she just said, you know, I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where I was born and raised. I like to tell everybody the playground was not where I spent most of my days, right? You know, not Will Smith, right? But I grew up with a single mother raising 4 kids by herself, trying to make ends meet, but not realizing that ends don't meet, and that's why they call them ends. So what I try to do is go the traditional route, go to school, get good grades, graduate, live happily ever after with my white picket fence, my family, and my dog. But we all know it don't work that way. College students are getting out of college. not even doing what they love and what they passionate about. They got debt up to their neck. And I realized I had my ladder leaned up against the wrong building, which was the corporate America building. And I grew up in a neighborhood that was really rough in North Philly. It was North Philly, actually, in Philadelphia, North Philadelphia. And I seen my friends, get into selling drugs. I seen them get into, fights, and seen them get shot. Just so many different things. A lot of my friends went to jail, and I said, that can't be me. That can't be me, because I understood that you are who you hang around. Even before I got into personal development, even before I got into network marketing, I used to think like, okay, Melissa, this friend was hanging out with this friend, and this friend was getting into trouble, and now they both got shot because he was with him at the wrong time, and he didn't even do nothing, but he was hanging with him. So when they do a drive by, bullets ain't got no name, right? So even growing up and as a young man, I knew that I couldn't be around the wrong people. My way of making money, I sold Yu-Gi-Oh cards, I sold Pokemon cards, I sold socks, I sold DVDs. I would go to the supermarket and bag bags and ask people, can I take their bags to their car, right? And I would take my brother, my sister, my cousin, we would all go to the supermarket. We would take people bags to their car, and then everybody would give me the money at the end of the day. And then I'll go buy a pizza, wings, and we all, go up to the clubhouse that I built from scratch. And I had a little TV in there, black and white, and we would watch TV and eat our pizza and wings. So I knew even back then, I was a leader and I was destined for greatness. I knew that, right? And John C. Maxwell talked about, being confident. That's all it is. If you want to be a leader, you have to be confident. And I knew back in the day that I had a lot of confidence. And I wanted to help other people. I just didn't want to help myself. Melissa, when I was young, I used to bring everybody with me. My dad did the same thing. He would help all the people get jobs. He would help all the people make money. And right then and there, I knew that that was my passion. My passion was to help other people. Harriet Tubman is one of my favorite. She basically could have freed more slaves only if they knew they were slaves.
Wow.
So I actually got my first job, making $7.25 an hour. And I felt so disrespected when I got my first raise. You know what they gave me? Dr. Melissa? They gave me 10 cents.
Wow.
10 cents.
It's crazy, man.
And I said, I'm leaving. I quit. And my friend chased me down. He said, you can't just quit like that. I said, what you mean I just can't? He said, we need you to come back in here signing this paper stating that we gave you the 10 cent raise. I said, what? Right then and there, I knew that jobs didn't care about me. I knew that they didn't care about the roof that was over my head. They didn't care about the clothes that was on my back. And they definitely didn't care about the food that was on my table. I knew it. They looked at me like another number, just a number. And I did everything I could for that job. I came in, every time they asked me to come in, I never called out sick. Even though I got sick, I still came to work. I did it all. And guess what? To get hit with a 10 cent raise after that, that's like a slap in the face.
It is, yes.
It's like a slap in the face. And I said, I can't go home and be tired after working these doubles and go to sleep and not work on my dream, but work for this company's dream. I can't do it. I have to do something different. And the same people was telling me, hey, young man, I got to get out of here too. I got to find a way. 10 years later, 20 years later, they still working at the same job. People get complacent. They settle. And I learned that settle stands for seem easy to think like employees.
Wow.
Seem easy to think like employees. And I could not settle. I knew I wanted something great. I wanted to help my family. I wanted to leave an inheritance. I didn't want to keep on seeing my family go through the struggle. I wanted to be the one that break the curse of poverty in our family, right? I wanted to be that one. And I'm going to be that one. It's so near I can smell it. So, the way I got here is, my friend told me that he was making really, really really good money, because I'm not going to make no income claims, but really, really good
Right.
money. Yeah, really, really good money trading in the foreign exchange market. I said, me, you mean to tell me you made that from your cell phone? And I'm at the hospital. I got a job at the hospital. I started working at the hospital in the nutritional field. And I'm like, I'm in the hospital working from 8 to 8, and I ain't making that money in a year. And you made it in 6 months? I said, show me what you're doing. Show me what you're doing. I'm open, because you know what? The most expensive thing we can own is a closed mind. It's not a house, it's not a car, it's not a watch. The most expensive thing we can own is a closed mind. I went to a seminar one time, and this man said something that opened my mind up. He opened my mind up, because he said that people make fun of him because he's from down south, and he talked like I is this, I is that. But he said he'd rather sound like a illiterate saying I is rich than to be broke and educated saying I am poor.
Wow. Come
That
on.
right, my heart started beating in my chest.
Come
I'm like,
on.
wow, I got friends with master degrees, bachelor degrees on top of the master degree, master's degree on top of a master's degree, and their bank account still looking like gas prices. Right? And I said, you know what? That can't be me. I'm not going to go that route. I come from humble beginnings, because my mom was raising 4 kids by herself. I come from humble beginnings because I was the oldest out of all my brothers and sisters, and I had to be the one that watched them while my mom was at work working all them jobs.
Okay.
And, I couldn't just let myself settle. I couldn't. And that's basically where I come from. That's basically how I started. I just wanted more for myself. I just got tired of sitting behind, some desk or some chair and warming somebody's chair, letting somebody tell me, "Oh, you better be here at 8 o'clock and not another minute late. You better take lunch at 1." How you know I get hungry at 1? I might get hungry at 12 or maybe 11, right? Telling me I can't take vacation. My job said, if you want to take a vacation and go away to Bali, Indonesia, in Australia for a month, you need to take a leave of absence. I said, back in the day, I thought leave of absence was only for pregnant women. I was confused. I'm like, leave of absence? What I'm doing that for, right? But that's basically, how I got started. That's basically my background. I just worked in retail jobs, like Target. I worked in, nursing homes. I did maintenance for a few years of my life. I ended up working in a hospital, getting into the nutritional field, working in that. And that's when I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired.
There we go. There we go. And I think that's the key. Eric, I think that's the key. What you just said is really the key. But I want to talk about, we're not going to bash employment. Nothing is wrong with a job. I worked all my life, right? My dad died from a very young age, and all I could do was work. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying don't work, but we have to be careful. What do you say to someone, right, who says that they have this job, they're paying their bills, they could afford to go on a proper vacation one time for the year, and then they look at you and they say, well, you know what? At least I am grateful, because there are some people who don't have a job.
Right.
So in their mind, they're grumbling, they are complaining every Monday morning. Mm. So every Monday, they complain that they have to go back to this job. They're not happy doing it. But in their mind, at least it's better than being unemployed. It's paying the bills. I could afford a restaurant. I'm eating a restaurant maybe once a month, and I could go on a vacation once a year. In terms of mindset, what do you say to someone knowing where you were to what you know now?
Yeah, well, I'm not down on jobs. I'm just up on opportunities, doctor. Definitely, I'm not down on jobs. I'm just up on opportunities. I believe a job should be a stepping stone to get you to exactly where you need to be. We already know the forecast for quadrants for employees, self-employed, business owners, and investors. We already know the different quadrants, right? But the thing about it is, it's not about yourself. It's not about just paying your own bills. What about your mom that raised you? What about your grandma that raised you? If your grandma raised you, what about your father? If you're going to work just living check to check and just keeping your head above water, you can't provide for the people that looked out for you. And that's how my mindset got to, let me get here. Let me go from A to B to Z, because I knew that I didn't want something to happen to myself and my family had to do a GoFundMe to bury me. You know what I'm saying? Like I like because when you just living paycheck to paycheck, it is not a good thing, because guess what? Let's say if something happened to a person. A lot of people that's living paycheck to paycheck don't got good insurance.
Right.
A lot of people that's living paycheck to paycheck don't got savings. They don't have money when it's time, or if something happened, they can't foot the bill. And that's not where I wanted to be at. So that's how my mindset got to here today, because I knew that I wanted to foot the bill if my kids want to go to college. If you live in paycheck to paycheck, how can you bring a kid into this world and take care of the kid, right? When you live in paycheck to paycheck, and you hardly make it, and you hardly making it just by yourself. So not only are you being selfish because you're caring about just you can't help your kids. If you bring your kids on, you can't help your parents, you can't help nobody. So I just didn't want that to be my situation. I didn't want to be selfish. And some people like their job, they love their job. I say if you love what you do, then more power to you. But if you're gonna moan, complain, see, see, a lot of people that's poor, and poor is a mindset. Poor is passing over opportunities repeatedly.
Correct.
A lot of people that's poor, right? A lot of people that's poor basically complain, like you said, moan and groan about Monday. They complain, they whine, and guess what that do, doctor? It tells the universe, well, the universe hear them, and it give them more things to complain and moan about
Correct.
and whine about, right? But successful people like you and myself, we're thankful and we're grateful, so happy and grateful now that. And guess what? The universe gives us more things to be thankful about.
That's right. That's right. Eric, I came from the public sector, right? So in my country, I worked, my most recent job was I gave my 10 years of my life to our government work.
Mhm.
And like what you said, I was just, yeah, I was a good salary, paying the bills, afford a better life. But when I looked at what I was doing, and I looked at my happiness, I was being told, just like what you said, I have to go to lunch at a certain time.
Mhm.
I would apply for vacation sometimes and I wouldn't get it.
Right.
I missed many birthday parties. I missed many events because of the nature of the job. I just had to put my job first. And
Mm.
that started to keep back everything in my life. I got married, and to start a family was very difficult, just having a baby.
Wow.
I had a lot of challenges. And health wise, I told myself, I'm not going to wait until something happens for me to say I'm done. And I walked away from it. When I walked away from it, I said, that doesn't mean that my brain can't function. That doesn't mean I can't do something. So then I decided to move into online,
Mm.
get something to do, but do something online. So when I started my family, when I had my first daughter, Eric, I'm telling you, even before I saw her face, there was nobody that could convince me that I could leave this child and go back to a job.
Mm.
And that's just what I did for myself. I made the changes. It's like you're telling a fish that potential of that fish is to get really big, but you put him in a tank where there's no room for growth, and you're telling the fish, adjust to the space that I gave you and don't grow. You see, some people, they fit themselves in a tank with no room, and although they have the potential to grow, that tank stunts their growth.
Mm.
It's just the environment that they're in that's causing them not to grow. But deep down inside, they could grow. So what I did is I took myself from an environment where my growth was limited because I knew my potential, and I placed myself in an environment where I have people like you to stretch me, people like Mr. McSween to stretch me, people like Mr. Iminitier to stretch me. And it's only when I did that, then I realized that, dude, I was wasting my time. Why didn't I do this earlier? But I know everything has to go in a process. You know, and I tell people it's not too late. It doesn't matter if you're 50, 60, 70, it doesn't matter. It's not too late. As long as you have that hunger and that desire for better, you know, we could show you better. Just get the mindset of doing better. You know, so that has been a big part of me talking to people. People always say, well, you know, I have a job and I'm grateful for my job. At least I'm not unemployed. So I'm going to stay right here and hope for the best. Wow. I learned a long time in life that if you don't plan, you're going to get a rude awakening. You're going to be surprised. You need to plan. You need to put things in place. Don't just go with the flow. Don't wait to see what the government is doing. Don't wait to see what the economy is going to look like next year. Put things in place to safeguard yourself. And the two major things that people worry about in life is health and wealth. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to money, we are teaching people to educate themselves about getting into this space where long ago a millionaire in my country was a big thing. Now, because I'm in this environment, a millionaire in my country, for me, it's no big deal anymore. You know, because it's like, who doesn't own $1 million on my team? Who doesn't have money? You know? So I am happy that you share that with us, because it goes straight into my next question. All right? So when we look at how you worked and you earned before, Eric, as you earn now, tell us some of the benefits. Tell us from your heart, what are the benefits of how you earn money now, which is online in this space? What do you really enjoy that you never could enjoy when you were at a job, at a physical building?
Okay. The first thing, listen closely. The first thing is I get to wake up when I'm done sleeping.
So Eric, are you telling me that alarm clock doesn't kick you in the face anymore?
No, it don't kick me in my face anymore. I can wake up when I'm ready to wake up, right? I still get up early because my passion wakes me up, but it's different. It's different now, you know.
It is different. It is different.
I can tell you this, you know, like I'm able to travel the world. I've been to 37 countries since 2017.
Wow.
And oh man, you know, Bali, Indonesia. I had an amazing, life-changing experience in Bali. We probably talk about that another day. That's a long story. I Australia, you know, New Zealand, just, you know, Malaysia, just, I mean, everywhere, like everywhere. It was just, it's amazing. Like, you know, the world is a book, and those that don't travel will not get to read its pages. And I want to read the pages of the world. You know, I want to read the pages. And traveling is the only thing that, you know, like, you can't waste money on. Traveling make you wealthy. And the inside, you learn so much when you travel. Yeah,
I love that
so much. You learn so much.
I love that. I love that.
So that's one of my main thing. That was the biggest thing for me, the traveling. You know, I don't even care about the money. You know, I don't even really care about the money. You know, traveling is so important for me. You know, if somebody say, look, you don't need any money, you could travel to anywhere and you could be covered wherever you go, I'd say, okay, take all my money. I'm going all over the world. I'm jet setting, I'm going everywhere. And you love to travel, right?
Yes. Yeah. So I was in London just before the pandemic broke out last year around the same time. Where I just come back from London to the convention. And it was just an amazing experience. And you know, you said something that I've never heard anybody say it like that. You said traveling makes you rich because you get rich from inside. And I love that because the people that I met at that convention, the relationships that I built, it's irreplaceable. There's nothing could compare to it. You know, so when the borders are open, this is just a side note. This is a hint. I'm going to extend the invitation for you to come to Trinidad.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll be there.
Right? Because I mean, it's no good having you on Zoom, and we could hook up and we could do something to help more and more people every single day. So really appreciate you. But like you said, for me, there's no greater joy to wake up. You know, long ago I used to look forward to Valentine's Day, Eric. Believe it or not. Because on Valentine's morning, that's the only day that I would get to actually spend time with my family and make breakfast and stuff. And now, every day is Valentine's Day.
Yeah, every day is Valentine's Day now.
Every day is Valentine's Day because every day when I get up, I make breakfast. So we do the hearts and the colored cheese and the little pretty things for my two daughters every day. And who is stopping me, right? What's stopping me from doing this every day? I was just stopping myself. I had to shift my mind from just mediocre living to the surplus.
Wow.
You know, Eric, I tell people every day that the wealth that this world had in it from ever since its existence, that wealth has never ever left this earth. When you dabble, when you get an opportunity to dabble in the world's largest financial market, that's not a game. That's something to take serious. That mindset has to do the shift. You have to make the shift. You have to get sick and tired of getting sick and tired. And only then will you really reap exactly what you're going to put in. Now, tell me something, Eric, without going into too many details, without calling any names and stuff. We want to keep the call absolutely open to public. How do you exactly, tell us now, how do you exactly profit in this industry and what you do? Tell us exactly, how do you earn an income? What do you do, dude? What do you do? You've been to 37 countries, right? I know people who love to travel, but while you are doing that, what do you do to make money? That's expensive.
Well, I just basically I have a smartphone, you know. And I that's what I do. You know, I get on my smartphone and I trade currencies. You know, I trade currencies. I trade one currency for another, and I make the difference off the exchange rate. And I'm doing that straight from my phone on the app that allows me to, you know, this app allows me to turn my phone into an ATM machine.
Do you really get back that money? Is it real money, Eric?
Oh yeah, it's real money. It's real money. I get that money, and I travel with it. That's how I travel, right? Because it's a skill set. You know, it's a skill set that you need to learn because the thing about it is, you know, self-education can make you a fortune. Self-education can make you a fortune. So, you know, I got people that teaches, you know, on trading currencies in the foreign exchange market, and I learn from them, and that's how I'm able to do it myself. And I could travel the world and be in 37 different countries and just look at my phone and make money in the airport. I can make money on the airplane. You know, sometimes when I go off the plane, I made profits, and it paid for my whole trip to wherever I'm going. Right. So that's exactly what I do. I just trade off of my smartphone, and you know, I help impact other people. I help impact other people because that's you know, if you want to be great, if you want to make good money and, you know, more money than you ever made before, it's all about impacting other people. See, the nice places that I've been to, the nice clothes, the nice car, you know, all of that is just a scoreboard of all the people I've been able to help. All of that is just a scoreboard of the people I've been able to help. See, the thing about it is, you know, Jim Rome said it, and he's one of my favorite persons to listen to. He said, don't ask what you could do for yourself, but ask what you could do for the people. Don't ask what the people could do for you, ask what you could do for the people.
Correct.
You know, and that service to many leads to greatness.
Correct.
And that's what I wake up every morning. People want to know what I do. I wake up every morning and I figure out who can I serve? Who can I serve every single morning? Because if you
Wow.
wake up every morning and ask yourself, who can you serve? I guarantee you your income will go up. Martin
Wow.
Luther King said this: everyone can be great because everyone can serve. Gandhi said, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in serving others.
Wow.
Benjamin Franklin said, no person in this world is useless that lightens the burdens of others. So when you think about it, every person that left a legacy, they always focus on serving other people. And that's what I do. I get on my phone, I make money, I teach other people how to do it as well.
All right. So let me be the other person now. So, Eric, my job pays me at the end of the month. That's a sure salary. That's money that I am sure of. But what you are doing, there's no guarantee. Why would I even look into this? Because I am secure with what I earn, and what you're doing is absolutely not guaranteed. Tell me the difference.
Okay, then I would say this. I would say, well, it's not about how long you live, but it's about how you live, right? It's not about how long you live, it's about how you live.
Wow.
So I've been in 37 countries. Would you like to travel? Would you like to travel? Now, and on top of that, I would say this. Now, if I give you food, if I give you shelter, if I make sure I protect you, make sure you don't get cold, and I sit you in the corner right there for 100 years, would you like that? So it's about how you live. Because I can give you shelter, food, I can give you the stuff for you to be comfortable, but what kind of life is that? Like you said, you was missing family time. You used to look forward to Valentine's Day. I can show you a way where every day would be Valentine's Day for you and your husband. I can show you a way where every day you'll get cake like it's your birthday.
Correct.
Right? Now the thing about it is everything in life is risky because people might say, well, it's taking a risk. The thing about it is you get better and better and better to the point where it's not as risky. But everything in life is risky. Right?
Correct.
Everything in life. Having a baby is risky. Right? Getting married is risky. Starting your own business is risky. Right? Jim Rome said it best. If you think investing is risky, wait till you get the bill for not investing. And that's what I would say to people, like it's about how you live. I don't want to be sitting behind a desk warming somebody's chair for 40 years, for 40 hours a week, to retire off of 40% less than what I already couldn't live off in the first place. That's the 40-40 plan. So come travel with me. Come live good. Come live the good life. Come have cake like every day is your birthday, and come have Valentine's Day like every time is a day for love.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. Eric, I won't keep you very long again, but tell me, can anybody who looks at this afterwards, can anyone enter into this particular space and profit? Or is there a requirement list, or what audience could enter into this space and take advantage of it and profit?
Any person that have a smartphone or a laptop.
Right.
Any person that have a smartphone or a laptop. Anybody can learn how to do this. is something that anybody can learn how to do. You just have to be coachable. You just have to be coachable. If you can copy and paste a text message, you could copy and paste and make money here. But it's not just about somebody just giving you these ideas to make money, but it's also about them teaching you how to do it on your own.
Right.
Because if you give a man a fish, you'll feed him for a day. But if you teach him how to fish, you'll feed him for a lifetime.
Definitely.
So you can come and learn this skill set. Anybody can learn it. My son is 11 years old and he's learning. So if you got a smartphone and a Wi-Fi connection, come on down. The price is right.
So are you telling me that you're not going to send your son to go out to work, Eric?
I'm not going to send my son out to go to work unless he want to.
Okay. Well, my bigger daughter is 8, and she's the cash-strapped kid, man. You know, she's the cash-strapped kid. So, I mean, to all our listeners and all our viewers, you know, everybody who's going to watch this recording, I want to encourage you. You've heard it from Eric. Eric is speaking from his heart, you know. He's not a paid actor. He didn't, you know, I didn't tell him what to say. If this could work for Eric, you heard his background, right? If this could work for Eric, it's going to work for as long as you want it. As long as you come into this space, we're moving from fiat to digital. We could show you with the right tools, with the right education, how this market, you could profit, you could take money out of it and live your best life. The sky is the limit. And as Eric said, if you want to enjoy the best in life, if you love traveling, anything, as long as you love doing it, it's going to cost money. Don't let money, the lack of it, be your dream killer. Don't let the lack of finances be the determining factor if you should fulfill your dream. From a kid, you want to be a baker. You always wanted to open a bakery. You never did it because you never had the money. Fulfill your dreams. Live your best dreams out. Don't have an excuse that I never had the money. We could show you how to get to that income as long as you have that mindset. Don't let your dreams just die. You know, Eric, I was reading and they were saying that a lot of times the most successful people in life, they did an interview and they went right around the world and they interviewed the most successful people in life. And the one common denominator that everybody said with the question when they asked them what was their biggest regret, the one common denominator was that they regretted not spending more time with their family. While they were chasing after the income, they gave up certain things in their life. And I am telling you that I found a platform where all my dreams have come true. Because, Eric, I no longer have to chase the income without my family. We chase it all together.
Wow.
So, like, before I came on this call, I kissed my daughters. They dressed me up, Eric. Do you think they did a good job? They dressed me up. And I told them, I said, Mommy is going into her office. And I closed their room and I went into another door, which is my office.
Wow.
Isn't that living the best life?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have to physically go to another building or leave them. You know, Eric, one of my major dreams as a child growing up, when I got adult enough sense to know what homeschooling was, one of my major goals was always to homeschool my kids. I always wanted to homeschool my kids. I always had that desire. And because of this platform, because of what I do now to earn money, my dreams have now come true because I homeschool my 2 kids. I don't have to send them to school. They've never been to a physical school. And that could only happen because mommy could be a stay-at-home mom, but being a stay-at-home mom, that doesn't mean that I have to be just a mom who's going to take care of dinner, lunch, and breakfast. I'm a stay-at-home mom, but I also earn an income.
Yeah.
You know, my husband is a trader. So with that combination and my kids crushing cash trap, we can't go wrong.
Yeah, that can't
You
go
know,
wrong.
you
That's
can't go wrong. It's all your dreams coming true right here. You know, some people say when they die and go to heaven, all their dreams are gonna come true. No more worries, no more pain, no more poverty. Well, it's happening right here, Eric. We don't have to die and wait until we get to heaven to enjoy our best life.
that's right now.
The wealth is right here. We just have to find how to tap into it.
Hmm.
And once we find a legal platform, a platform with a lot of morals and values that's transparent, like the one we joined, you're good to go.
Wow.
You know, Eric, any closing words of encouragement or motivation for our folks?
Well, I can say that we have to use our resources. You know, we have to understand that if we hang around five rich people, we're going to be the six. If we hang around five wealthy people, we're going to be the six. It's all about your mindset. It's all about your mindset. And you gotta focus on serving other people. You gotta focus on impacting. They say the richest place in the planet, on the planet, is the graveyard. Why? Because so many goals, ideas, dreams, aspirations, inventions that never came to pass because people were scared to take a step out on faith. They were scared to do something different in order to get something different. We all know the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results.
Correct.
Right? We got so many bills. We got gas, electric, car insurance, your cell phone bill, rent, and we got one paycheck paying 20 different bills. Why not have multiple streams and one stream for each bill
Huh.
instead of having one stream paying all bills? They say the average American. They say I said they. It's about, I believe that the statistic was like 67% of Americans don't have $400 in a savings account.
Wow.
It might be more. It might be 78. If I'm, it might be 78. But that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people.
That's too many people, Eric.
Too many people. Too many people. And I encourage you to open your mind. Your mind should be open like a parachute. Get back with the person that you see making it happen and ask them, say, hey, how can I make it happen for me? You know, reach out. You never know until you ask, right? It's so many people that need an opportunity, right? And I'm gonna tell y'all, when a person came to me with an opportunity, I was passing it over because I had a poor mindset, right? I just prayed to God the day before, and the person came to me, said, look, I need you to come take a look at some information. And I said, oh no, I can't make it. But I was just crying the night before, asking God to get me out of the situation that I'm in.
Wow. Wow.
And immediately a story came to my head, and y'all probably heard it before, of the man drowning. The rowboat came by, he said, no, go ahead, God got me. The motorboat came by, he said, no, go ahead, God got me. The helicopter came by, he said, no, go ahead, God got me. The man ended up drowning, got to heaven, and said, God, why didn't you send help for me? God said, I sent help for you 3 times.
Come on.
You denied it all 3. Now you did.
Come on.
So it's like, how many of us is drowning? Somebody throw us a financial lifesaver and we kick it away because of our pride and our ego.
Wow.
What people don't understand is the ego is not here to serve you. It's actually here to harm you. And a person with a big ego usually have a small bank account. So guys, I encourage you to drop the ego. Learn something new, because it's all about your environment. It's all about the knowledge. It's all about your associations. Because a lot of people think that knowledge is power, but it's not. It's not true. Because if knowledge was power, we'd all be living in a mansion where abs is still. Right? But it's applied knowledge, the proper associations, and a proper environment. Guys, sit with winners. The conversation will be different. Sit with winners, like Melissa said, it'll stretch you and allow you to catapult your success. With that being
Definitely.
said, that's my time.
Definitely, bro. Let's continue crushing it, Eric. Let's continue being a blessing to this world by sharing this information to everyone out there. You know, I always look at it as a handful of seeds. We're going to continue with those seeds because when we drop those seeds in the ground, even if not everybody hears us, we're going to save lives. We're going to make a difference. Some of those seeds are going to take root and bear into beautiful trees. So let's keep doing what we're doing. God bless you. Thank you for coming on to Money Talks. We really appreciate you. And we'll see you when the borders open right here in Trinidad. We're going to do something.
Yes. See you at the beach or at the bank because I'm going to be at both.
Definitely. God bless you, Eric. Stay on top because you know what they say, the bottom is way too